This is the House of Hockey podcast,
where we talk about the game and the lifestyle.
We've got opinions as hockey fans, friends, and from the female perspective.
Welcome to our house.
Welcome to the House of Hockey podcast. This is episode 186. I'm one of your hosts, Ray Ray. Breezy is still on long-term injured reserve, but always with us in our mind and in our conversation. And joining me today as our guest co-host is Alma Laura. We are so happy you are here. She's fresh off of the Ontario Reign loss, but she's still here.
Yay, thank you for having me. Yeah, that was tough. The guys got swept, but it was so much fun. Like, if anybody here is always like thinking about going to a minor league hockey game, there's nothing like it. I've gone to minor league games like for baseball and just, it's a little bit slower. The crowd's not as into it, but for hockey, it was just amazing. Like, that building was so loud. Props to the Coachella Valley fans. They had a lot of fans in the building and it was so loud, but it was so cool. As soon as they started chanting, all the Reign fans took over like the chants. It was so loud in there, but go get out there, support the boys. Like, you're ultimately gonna see a lot of these guys make it to the NHL. And it's so crazy to say and to see and be like, oh my gosh, I saw them play in the minor leagues and now they're here. That's how I feel about Adrian Kempe. Like, I started going to Reign games when he was on the Reign, and now, you see them become these superstars, and it's so rewarding because you're like, oh my gosh, I saw them grow up to be this, all-star of a player. So it was so much fun. I had a blast. They lost, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, the AHL is definitely a step up from the ECHL as far as like being able to see that kind of talent, like you're saying. And like a lot of those guys do end up, getting into the NHL. But how far did they get in the playoffs? Because I didn't look.
I believe this one was the round before making it to the final, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Okay.
it was so cool to see them there though. But yeah, it sucks, but I had fun. I tell people, like, my hockey season is officially over. Like, all my guys are out. Like, it's baseball season.
Well, you're watching the IIHF Men's World Championship right now because of your boys. Who are you following in the men's world? Also, by the way, before you answer that, I just saw that Pastrnak is headed there to join the team too after being eliminated. Like, this is crazy. They're like unstoppable.
Yeah, so this tournament, the one I try to watch, the one where it's, what is it, like the younger guys, that one usually takes place around New Year's, but this one's in the summer, and I believe it starts like the first week as the first round of the NHL playoffs. It's starting to finish up. So obviously the guys that go to the tournament, they go represent their country, and it's the guys who are not going to make it to the playoffs who end up going out there first. But the crazy thing is, as the guys are being eliminated, they head out there for the tournament. So like you're saying, it's so crazy that, boom, they get eliminated, and then you get an alert, like Roman Yossi, he's out there to go represent Switzerland. And it's so much fun to see it. Like, you're seeing the guys who are teammates play against each other, and it's so much fun. It's something I always look forward to in the summer, because it's no secret my team's not made it very far when it comes to the playoffs. So the IIHF is what I look forward to.
I mean, listen, you did make it to the playoffs this year, so
Yeah, for some reason, I think it's a couple of seasons that I'm really into the tournament, and for some reason I'm all about Sweden for obvious reasons, Adrian Kempe, and then as of late, Switzerland. So those are the two teams like I've really, really, really been watching this tournament, and they've been doing great.
How has the US been doing? I haven't been able to keep up with it.
I know they won yesterday 10-2, if I'm not mistaken, but I've probably watched maybe like half of a USA game. I
Mhm.
don't know why, and that they have great players. I think they have a great team, but I don't know what I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. On Saturday, I got up at 3 in the morning my time to watch the Sweden game and the Switzerland game, and my best friend Joe, I'm over here waking him up to let's watch the games. So shout out to him for waking up to watch the games with me. But it's fun. It's very interesting. Like they're heading into the I think semifinals start on Thursday. The tournament's only like 2 weeks long.
Yeah. Well, you know better than to text me to get up at 3 a.m. to watch hockey because I'm not doing it. Like, I mean, I love it and I love hockey, but like, if I won't even stay up until like midnight to watch a game, you could sure as hell bet I'm not getting up at like 3 a.m. to watch a game. So, I love it, but I have some limitations.
No,
I'm not as devoted as you.
I was up with my Sweden jersey, my beanie, and my yellow Red Bull to match. I was like, let's go. That threw off my
I
sleep for
love
the
it.
weekend, but it was so much fun.
Well, you had messaged, we were messaging about the Team USA roster, which was stacked and super cool to see. And I know Johnny Gaudreau is having some success in this tournament too. And it's just interesting to see, like you were saying, how sometimes uh, they're playing against each other in the NHL, but then they come here and they're all playing together, and how different it is and how successful certain people can be. I wonder if like the scouts of the different NHL teams like watch this tournament and are like, oh, maybe we need to team this person up with this person, or what, or is it the coaching, or who knows, but it feels like a whole different kind of hockey is played during this tournament.
Yeah, I feel like the guys end up, I mean, obviously, I feel like they're playing to win, but I don't know if like they don't have that chip on their shoulder. I feel like they look so much more relaxed. They're like excelling. Like our guys on the Kings are doing amazing in the tournament, that even the guys are joking around, oh, with the Kings, they don't do very well. And over here, let's let them, play in Worlds. It's just it's so fun to watch. I'm obsessed.
Yes, you are. And you also wanted to talk about Roman Yossi and Nico Hischier. Tell me about this
So
for
I
the
thought it
Worlds.
was I thought it was pretty cool because again I was when I was looking at the rosters, they announced who the captain and the assistant captains are gonna be. So when the roster came out for Switzerland, Nico Hischier was gonna be the captain of the team. So the Preds get eliminated, and it's announced that Roman Yossi is going to be going to the tournament to represent Switzerland. So Nico decides to let him wear the C, and he'll take the A. And they asked him why, and he says because Roman Yossi was always somebody he idolized, and that it was an honor to be playing with him, let alone give him the captaincy. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is wow. Like if I didn't have a crush on Nico, like that really like made me be like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. But it's so awesome because look at how we're fans of players. Now they're
Yeah.
fans, or they grew up watching these guys, and now they're playing on the same team, or like you said, same team, playing against each other, playing with each other. And it's so cool that it's like these same players we idolize, the players idolize them too. So I thought that was amazing. That was so cool.
Yes. What a class act for such a young kid. I mean, Nico is still really young, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's really young. And to have the leadership in him to recognize, when to hand that over and what that means to their team and to be able to play for their country. It's like it's a very different thing. And I think that's really admirable. And, I don't think Roman would have ever asked for it. I feel like that's not really in his personality, so
So I think that's
it was,
why I was just so much more glued to watch them play. Like Nico's been having such a great tournament as well, and they're playing alongside like Kevin Fiala, so that it's been very fun to watch them as well.
anybody else you want to talk about from the tournament that has caught your eye?
No, just I think like I said, normally I'm all about Team Sweden, but I've been following the Swiss guys a little bit more. I think that story kind of did it for me. So what is it? Sweden, they scored 3 goals in 24 seconds on Saturday to set a record for most goals scored in the tournament. So that was pretty cool.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's unheard of. Well, I'm glad you're keeping up with it. Are you keeping up with what we are? Hopefully, we will know tonight. This will be out after, but the conference finals are officially here in the NHL. We've got the Panthers who will be facing the Rangers, and the Stars will either play the Oilers or the Canucks. Obviously, we'll know after this airs, but I am excited for this. And I've never been on the Dallas Stars bandwagon, and I'm never gonna be, but after seeing their performance thus far, I think they've got a lot going for them right now. And I think they've got a lot of momentum. And I think whether they face the Canucks or the Oilers, I think they could find themselves in the Stanley Cup final. And I would never have normally said that at the beginning of the season. And I'm always a little bit of a hater on the Stars. But listen, I will stand corrected. And when I see them performing in a way that's, top notch, I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. What do you think?
See, the way you feel about the Stars is the way I feel about the Rangers. Like I said it, if there was a team that was going to beat the Rangers, it was going to be Carolina. And that wasn't the case. Like they were on the verge of getting swept. The only thing that really came out of that series is that they were able to, show that the Rangers are a beatable team. You can beat them. But I know, me being the biggest like Ranger hater, you got to give credit where credit is due. And everything's going for Dallas and everything's going for the Rangers. And I mean, anything can happen. I think I'm still very like pro Florida. Like I don't know what it's been about that team this year. They've been very, very fun to watch in the playoffs, but yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, I said it. You know what, with the Stars, if there's anybody on that team that I feel like, not that nobody's not deserving, but if there's anybody that I feel like on that team that I really, really, really want to see win the cup, is Pavelski. I said it even when he was a Shark, like he's just such a class act. Like you can't hate him. That's Captain America. So if there's anybody like on that team that I'm really, really rooting for, it's him. Like I had said it, like I think I had Vegas making it out of that round, and when Dallas was the one that did, I was like, you know what? Like I think they're gonna be my favorites to make it to the final. I'm excited for Game 7, with the Oilers and the Canucks, but I think Brock Besser's not playing for the Canucks today, so that's gonna suck. And it pains me to say this, but I think Edmonton's gonna make it out of there.
I do too. I was really hoping the Canucks could, and I think their goalie's out too, with the Canucks. So they're having to prove their depth, and who knows? Maybe they can. I don't know. They've had a little extra day off here, but I don't know. I think the Oilers are gonna force their way in, especially after the way they played their last game against the Canucks, but we'll see what happens there.
It's so crazy though that, like, obviously, like, me being a Kings fan, you want them to make it as far as they could, but isn't it funny that, like, you almost feel like everybody that got eliminated in that first round needed to, because the second round was just, it was crazy. We got some really, really, really good hockey that you're like, you know what? these teams are the ones that deserve to be here. It kind of puts things in perspective, I'm already like, okay, I got over it. So now you see it as a hockey fan and you're like, man, like that was a really, really good second round.
I agree with you. I feel like the first round is always sort of like chaotic and wild and sort of like college football playoffs where you just like anything can happen and you have no clue how anybody's going to do. But then when you get to the second round, it's like almost like watching Stanley Cup, like the Stanley Cup final when you get to the second round with the quality of those teams and the way that they've, at least in this year, and I would even say last year, like the second round is the round to watch because it's some of the best hockey. And then I feel like the conference finals can be kind of meh, like not as thrilling or as dramatic maybe. And then of course, we always love the Stanley Cup final, but the second round is where it's at in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, I was glued to the TV because I was like, this is great. And being a hockey fan and you don't have like I didn't have anybody else to root for. You're literally just watching or hoping for like really good hockey, and we got that. So that was fun. But I'm excited. I'm excited for even whoever comes out of Edmonton and the Canucks. I think it's going to be a really good conference finals on both ends. But I think whoever makes it out of the East, like they're going to win it all. Whether it be the Rangers or whether it be Florida, I think they're going to win it all.
All right. I'm tend to agree with you there, and I think it would be good either way if I don't know. I lean towards Rangers, but they're a little unpredictable in their play because like you said, they are beatable.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go all in on them, but I don't know if I can. And I've got a little bit of beef with the Rangers fans because they're booing their own team when they lose in the arena. We've talked about this already, and I don't support this. That is not how you support your team. You can express your frustrations, but booing your team in the playoffs, I can't. So they're doing that, and I don't know if this is just the playoff fans that are in there that can afford those tickets that are there, and they're booing and they don't know the rules of being a hockey fan, but
I think
knock it off. That's how I feel.
I don't mean to be mean, and I'm probably going to get shit for this, but I think it's just a New York thing because I have a very hard time, yesterday the Knicks lost. They got eliminated from the playoffs, but their fans were loud a couple of games ago. Oh, Indiana can't win in our building and blah, blah, blah. We want Boston, and they got eliminated. So I just think it's the culture, it's the fan base there that just tends to be really loud. And I didn't like that they booed them. I got all pissed off, and I have it out for their fans. I'm like, how are you doing that? They've literally been one of the best teams in the playoffs, and they lose 1 game, 2 games, and you're gonna boo them? No.
Yeah. I have a big issue with that. If I was in there and if I was a Rangers fan, I would have been stop booing. That's not helpful. They know what they've done wrong and what they need to be doing to do better. So, and that brings me to the Panthers fans, because during the Boston series, game 1, they were being blown out. The Panthers were blown out by Boston, and you could see the fans in the arena all left early. And I was like, you're leaving early in the playoffs? You're in the playoffs. First of all, you stay. Even if your team loses, you're in the playoffs. Do you not understand how incredible this is to be there? And then you're going to leave early because the arena is far away from this metro area? No. None of those things matter if your team is in the playoffs. You keep your butt in that seat and you cheer your team on until the end. You don't boo them and you don't leave even if you lose.
Shoot, you bet your ass I was in that Kings game. They were getting blown out, and I'm like, I'm not leaving. I'm staying here. But Okay, so Florida has proved themselves to be a hockey town. I've said it for, for
Yeah.
years. Unfortunately, from what I've heard is that Florida, Miami being a very, big sports, sports city or whatever, their basketball team has seen success in the past couple of seasons, that their fan base tends to gravitate towards whoever's doing well. So, for example, like Florida's been doing well the last couple of seasons. They're gonna fill up the arena. Everybody's,
Yeah.
everybody's going there for support. I don't want to say, oh, everybody's a fan all of a sudden, but everybody's going out there for support. So I think it's just a lot of people are there because it's the thing to do. Oh, our team's in the playoffs. We
Mhm.
have to be there. Where you have other people that are just there, they're passionate about it. Like, we know, I feel like it's almost like one more of the hockey etiquette stuff. You don't leave if your team's
Yeah.
getting blown out. You don't boo your team. You don't this. You don't that. But I think it's just the fan culture is changing. It's changing a lot, and I
Yeah.
think it has a lot to do with social media. I see it a lot with any sport, especially here in LA. I live in a big city. If your team's doing well, you're gonna sell out. But you do see a lot of people that are literally just there. There's nothing wrong with posting that you're there. We talked about
Mhm.
it earlier. Sometimes I forget to take pictures and post that I'm there, but it's become that. It's become the
Yeah.
whole Instagram thing. You have to take a picture to show that you're there, and then that's it. You got your picture and you're just
Right.
there. Where you have your very passionate fans that live and breathe this sport, and it sucks to see that fans are like that. Like, I wouldn't leave early, whatever sport it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it has to do with, growing up not having much, that, it was a luxury to go to games. My mom would be like, we're not leaving early, we're staying for everything. So I don't know if it came from that, but I don't condone that.
No, I don't either. I like to stay to the end. I like to watch the 3 stars come out, like no matter what, I mean, you stay for the whole thing. And so what with traffic? Like, you're going for the experience and to support the team. And I was really disappointed in Panthers fans when I saw that. And
Let's do better,
you
guys.
yeah, like you've already got it hard enough from other fans in the league giving them a hard time about like not being legit fans and all of that. Like you are. So let's just like let's keep on the steady. Let's drive that bus forward. Because, it means a lot. Like the fans really do mean a lot to the players, and having them there does help, and having you cheering even though you're losing, it does make a difference. So you do matter. But something that I'm not sure how I feel or if it's going to matter to anybody at all, but there is a new hockey league that's starting. And there hasn't been a whole lot about it yet, at least to my knowledge, because I know we're all inundated with everything else that's happening right now in the middle of the playoffs. But there's it's called Major League Hockey, otherwise known as MLH, and it's going to be North America's next 3-on-3 professional hockey league, and it's backed by Saudi Arabia. I don't know if this is good for hockey. I feel like we have a hard enough time getting fans to stay in the seats in the middle of a playoff loss. And now you're going to start a whole new league, and it's going to be 3-on-3. And I know that it's to go with what you were saying about how the fan culture is changing and they want it faster paced, and 3-on-3 is more exciting and there's more goals and stuff. But I'm not into that. Like, I don't find that more exciting. It's fine to me, but we have enough time keeping fans in Arizona and all these other places, let alone now we're going to start a whole new league and try to steal away some of these players. Cause that's, if you don't know about professional golf, there was a whole thing that happened not long ago, a year ago maybe, where the PGA, there was a whole new league that was started by Saudi Arabia, and they threw hundreds of millions of thousands of dollars at these players to come play for them. And how do you turn that down? And benefits and money. So I'm just a little concerned. I'm just a little concerned. yeah, that's where I stand.
See, like, I think one way it'll work is if it's during the NHL, that break from when the Stanley Cup playoffs end to where training camp starts. If you're gonna do it around that time, that's awesome, because what do us hockey fans like?
Yeah.
I feel like I enter seasonal depression once hockey season's over. Like, I start getting sad out of nowhere and I'm like, damn, I miss hockey. So if it's going to be something that's going to fill in that void for those hockey fans, that it's like, oh, hey, now we're going to have hockey year round, it could work. And if it's going to be maybe something that, because I know I was reading on it that, you know, players are going to be qualified if they've had some NHL experience or any type of experience. I think they even they're going to open it up to women. If it's going to be something like the XFL when it first started, that it showcased players and gave them an opportunity to make it to that professional level, then by all means let's give it a try. I think this is the only way it'll work. But if you're going to go ahead and put it, like, plan it like where it's happening around the same time the hockey season is happening, I don't see how it's going to gain traction. The idea of it is awesome, because I mean, look at the All-Star game when they changed it to the 3-on-3. I feel like it made it all that much more exciting. Like, 3-on-3 is exciting in itself. I always feel like when it's my team, I'm having a heart attack, but it's so exciting.
Right?
But I really hope they do it during the off season so that we have hockey year round. But if it's something that they're not going to do, then I don't see how it's going to help.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll only pull away from the league. I agree with you. If it can be during the off season, that's fine. But I don't know how they would make any money in like that short period of time. But I mean, the other argument would be like, isn't just more opportunity for talented players in the AHL and the ECHL and all these other leagues to be able to play in a professional environment like this league? You know, this is their opportunity, and then there's more room for more players to come up and stuff like that. But I just don't think there's enough of a pool. I mean, I could be very wrong, but I don't know that our sport is ready for this next
Yeah, because
step.
I
But I
definitely
hear what you're
don't.
saying.
Yeah, like, I definitely don't see like guys with NHL contracts even being considered, because as it is, look at how hard it was for the guys to get the okay to go back to the Olympics finally.
Right.
After how long? And then, you know, they had the World Cup of Hockey one year, and I thought that was something they were going to keep going, but no, because players got injured, that no, they're not going to do it. So I don't see the NHL in itself having anything to do with that. But if it's something, like I said, it could work, I guess, but I don't want my guys getting hurt.
Yeah. It could be pretty problematic too, though, because if you just start throwing money at players, like the NHL guys really don't make a lot of money at all whatsoever compared to professional athletes. So if you have this new league and they have unlimited amount of money to throw at people to play, I mean, I don't know how you turn that down. I don't know. I mean, it happened in golf and they didn't think people were going to do it. They didn't think some of the biggest people were going to leave, and they did. And it's like, it can happen. So we've
Yeah.
just got to be careful is all. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. So stay tuned for more on that. Over in the PWHL, we have a Walter Cup final. It is between Boston and Minnesota. Minnesota did a reverse sweep on Toronto, and Boston did a clean sweep of Montreal. And Boston's already taken the lead of the series. They beat Minnesota last night. They play best of 5, not best of 7. But we are this close to having our first ever PWHL champion. And it's all American teams. And it's ironic because the Canadian teams had the most fans come out and fill the arenas, more so than the US teams. So I really hope US fans are tuning in and watching on YouTube. It's free for frick's sake. You can watch on YouTube anywhere. You don't even need an account. So I hope you're watching these games in between all of the other hockey going on. But it's been really exciting to see these two teams. And you've got like two of the, in recent history, you've got Hillary Knight playing Kendall Coyne Schofield, like two legendary names of the last 10 years of hockey and women's hockey. They're playing each other for the championship of the first ever of this league. And I just think it's incredible history happening before our eyes. So I hope people are watching and cheering on the women.
Like I love to see how the arenas fill up to watch them, but I feel like they might have missed the mark here as well in the timetable of when they rolled this out, because I feel like they should have done it like what is it with the WNBA, like the NBA season, it's almost concluding, so this one's starting up, so that way you have basketball year round. I feel like the tournament would have had even much more success if you have it, so that more fans can tune in or go to games, because the NHL is not on, or it's nearing the end of it. But I love to see all the TikToks of the arenas filling up. I love to see the players come in. Like I know the Hillary Knight posted a picture of her in the Boston Celtics jersey supporting, the other Boston team that's in the playoffs. So I like to see all that, come in and all show the support for it. I hope the guys wear like the girls' jerseys. That would be cool too. But and I really hope that this is something that continues to grow.
I do too. I wish we like had all the Bruins boys at the game last night. Like I wish I had seen that footage, like now that they're eliminated from the playoffs, like go and support the girls. And I know Patrice Bergeron, formerly of captain of the Bruins, has been a huge supporter of the Boston team, and they work out in like the same gym and they talk to each other, and he's a big supporter of it and all of that. But let's go support women's hockey, because it's going to be here to stay. I think there's a few things they have to figure out, like you're saying. And I think we can expect quite a few changes to come, probably in the off season as well. I know there's no talks of expanding the league at the moment, but we've got to get some things going. The merch situation too. Like they sent out an email that was like, "Oh, we've got more merch available," and I looked. There's only like triple XL sweatshirts available, and I'm like, I know the oversized sweatshirt trend is like a thing, but like I don't think I can pull that off,
You're like, we need some more variety, more designs, more color, more stuff. But no, I just like I said, I loved seeing that this season, just the support. And then I know a lot of arenas that were hosting games would send out emails, and the tickets aren't very expensive, and I know I saw a lot of my friends that I made in Jersey going out to support the girls, so that was nice to see.
Yeah. So there's that. My social media viral video of the week goes to the guy who dressed up as Jared Bednard behind the Abs bench. And his buddy next to him was wearing a blonde wig and a green shirt, like the Dallas. Like there was like a beautiful blonde busty babe behind the bench at one of the Dallas games. That, of course, catches the attention of viewers when you're watching at home. And so there were like these two guys dressed up like him, and it was really quite funny and spot on. And props to those guys who paid a shit ton of money for those seats to just dress up in costume and get on TV. So
that was so funny to see. I love seeing stuff like that. I love seeing fans go all out just to get their TV moment. I'm all for it. No hater. You do what you got to do to get on TV. If it's good, it's awesome.
Exactly. Do you have a hunk of the week?
I'm gonna go ahead and throw it to the mascots again. As you could see, if you guys are watching the video, I'm obsessed with mascots. I started with the Gritty, and then I found
Mhm.
Bailey, and then my all-time favorite mascot is the Philly Fanatic. So I love mascots. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it to Bowie because he finally got his revenge on Biz, and that was so awesome to see. And I love that they're playing into that. Like, it's been something going on for like seasons now, so to get to see that, and like I said, them playing into it, it makes it so much more fun. It's awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and choose Bowie for getting his revenge on Biz.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I feel like I'll go stay in that world and give it to Shaquille O'Neal, or Shaq Hyman, as they've been calling him on NHL on TNT. There was a video of him on skateboards trying to simulate ice skating, and also Biz checked Shaq into the wall, like just came out of nowhere and checked him into the wall. It's like pure gold, that content team. So that whole team gets my hunk of the week. So.
I love how they've done that because obviously they share the offices with the basketball guys, and they're in there a lot. So I love that we've been getting like little crossovers here and there. It makes it so much more fun.
Yeah, and who doesn't know who Shaquille O'Neal is,
Yeah.
So it's like, and seeing
He's
that
so
guy
big, it makes it even funnier.
exactly. It's good times there. I appreciate what they all do there. And I have a short announcement, and I've had this, and I keep forgetting every episode I do to talk about it, and you know about it. I designed hockey themed birthday cards and thank you cards with funny hockey puns, or at least I think they're funny hockey puns. And they're available for sale on my Etsy store. It's thehockeylady.etsy.com. The link is in the show notes. And I made my first sale that wasn't a friend, myself, or a family member. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, somebody found them. So I'm working out all of that. But I would love for you to take a look and let me know. I'm thinking about adding like team colorways. So if you have like your team, like I could do like the silver and the black for like Kings and just switch out the colors if that mattered. But right now they're just kind of like two neutralish colors. But check them out. It was a labor of love trying to figure out that process and learning how to sell on Etsy and do demand on printing and everything. But I figured it out, and check them out.
Yay!
Yay! All right. Well, we've got a lot of hockey to watch. Lots of championship hockey happening right now, and you've got to get back to watching your game, Alma. And thank you for being here.
Thank you
and
for
filling
having me.
today.
It's always a blast.
Thanks for coming over to our House of Hockey podcast and hanging out with us. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. And in the meantime, you can follow us on social media. Just look for House of Hockey podcast. We'll be back next week.